Chives have that really soft, oniony flavour, really delicate. You can put them in soups, sandwiches, on top of pizzas and pastas, so they're really great to have in the garden. Hi, I'm MT O'Donnell. I'm editor of Scotland Grows magazine, and welcome to the Ideal Home Show YouTube channel. Today we're going to get our hands a little bit dirty because I'm going to show you how to make an edible hanging basket. You might be familiar with a classic hanging basket full of lots of planting and lots of colour, but today we're going to make an edible hanging basket. So whether you've got a green thumb or you're just starting out, this masterclass will have you brimming with confidence and blooms in absolutely no time and give you something to eat. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and tap the bell so you never miss another gardening tip. So if you've never thought about having a hanging basket full of edibles, it's a really great thing to have in your garden. Think about having this maybe beside your barbecue area or on your deck or on your patio, and you can just reach off and grab something really fresh to add to your barbecue or to add to your drinks. There are lots of things that will do really, really well in a hanging basket. For example, you could plant a basket with some strawberries. So just imagine how nice this basket will look with strawberries cascading over the side. You'll get, first of all, those pretty white flowers, although you do get strawberries with pink flowers as well now. After the flowers will set fruit, and then you'll have this cascade of red strawberries. And if they're next to your seating area, just imagine how nice that is at night to pick off a strawberry and pop it into your glass of fizz or into your gin and tonic. So strawberries in hanging baskets are a great idea. You could also have a hanging basket full of tomatoes. Tomatoes can sometimes have a reputation for being quite difficult to grow, but if you're growing them in a hanging basket, you're growing small cherry tomatoes, which again will just cascade over the side of your basket, look really good, very easy to pick if they're beside your barbecue or your seating area. If you were planting tomatoes in a hanging basket, it's also a really nice idea to plant basil in the middle. Basil tends to enhance the flavour of your tomatoes quite well, and it's really nice to pick a leaf of basil and a little cherry tomato to have together as a snack. But what else you could do with a hanging basket is you could think about having a basket full of some nice herbs. Herbs right next to your barbecue area, something really nice about that. So one of the first things that I have picked to go in this edible herb basket is some thyme. Thyme is a great plant, comes in lots of different varieties. You get thyme which is upright, thyme which is creeping. This particular thyme has a much looser growing habit, so it will spill really nicely over the side of your hanging basket, and it has really tiny delicate flowers which just add something really nice to a hanging basket. So I would definitely pop some thyme in my hanging basket. If you were planting one, you could maybe use some smaller plants to start with. These plants are quite nice because they're quite well established. So at this time of year, really nice for a basket. Something nice that might go with them would be some oregano. And look how nice and full that plant is. Oregano is great to go on your pizzas, you can put it on your sandwiches, all of your green edibles. You can harvest and make a nice pesto for pastas and things. So I would also plant some nice oregano in a hanging basket. And then you want to think about something that will go in the middle of the hanging basket just to give that thriller effect. Just in the same way that a classic hanging basket is planted up with thrillers and fillers and spillers to soften the edge, your edible herb basket can also have something in the middle to give a wee bit more of a thrill. So think about what you like, and I've got several choices here. So if you think the basket is quite green and you would like maybe a pop, something zingy, you go for something like lemon balm. Just have a feel of the leaves and a smell, and it's just delicious, some lemon balm. So you could put that in the middle of your basket to give a real zing pop of colour. You could also, in the middle of your basket, put some rosemary, if you like to have rosemary with your Sunday roast, for example, or really good to stick on with steaks or burgers on the barbecue. Rosemary will grow nice and upright and nice and bushy in the middle of your basket, so it will give your basket that domed effect. Rosemary you can also cut and stick in your gin, so it's a very multifunctional plant to have in the garden and looks great in a hanging basket. Or my last choice is to plant some chives in your hanging basket. Chives have that really soft, oniony flavour, really delicate. You can put them in soups, sandwiches, on top of pizzas and pastas, so they're really great to have in the garden. But chives will also flower, and if you're not familiar with the flower on a chive, it's a kind of vivid lilac, loved by pollinators. So this basket will be a buzz, but you can cut the chives. Once you've kind of gone through half the season, cut the chives down to about 2 inches and they will re-sprout. Use all the chives, let some of them go to flower, and they will look absolutely fabulous. When you are thinking about where to situate a nice edible herb basket like this, try to find a nice sunny spot in your garden. Most herbs come from Mediterranean climates and therefore they like soil which is quite dry and they like full sun. So look for a sunny site in your garden. If you're planting this near your seating area so that you can access it easily, or you're planting it at the back door of the kitchen, just think about whether that location is good in terms of sun. Plant your hanging basket and then just treat it like you would any other basket in your garden, whether that's full of flowers or now full of edibles, and water it. Doesn't need too much feed. Herbs, they don't need too much water, unlike flowers, because again, they like dry soil, dry climate. So you can water this sparingly, which is a wee bit less work than a traditional floral hanging basket. And that will do really well and will see you through the season. Most of these herbs will also come through the winter well. So at the end of the summer season, if your hanging basket is in an exposed location, or you get quite a lot of wind in that location, or it's in a frost pocket, then take your basket down and move it to a more sheltered location. If you have a greenhouse, put it in a greenhouse, or just move it to a sheltered spot of the garden, let it die back a little bit over winter, bring it back out next spring and everything will regrow. And you can start your edible journey into hanging baskets all over again. The other great thing about having edibles in a hanging basket is that because a hanging basket generally will be raised on a bracket, you're protecting your precious edibles from slugs and snails. All but the most determined slugs and snails will climb up a fence or climb up a shed and try and get into your hanging basket, but you're giving yourself a chance by putting up high, particularly with something like strawberries, which are a bit of a buffet for slugs and snails. By planting them in a hanging basket, you're raising them up off the ground. Also by planting something like chives. Chives are a really great companion plant for most edibles because the smell that emits from chives drives a lot of insects off in the other direction. So they're a really good and a really useful plant to have, whether in a hanging basket or whether in a raised bed or whether in the ground. And if at the end of the season you feel that your chives have got too big for the hanging basket, lift them out, literally chop them down the middle so you've split and divided the chives, and then you can use the rest of the chives anywhere around your garden where you're growing other edibles. In a hanging basket, any multi-purpose peat-free compost will do well. Please try and use peat-free compost. Basket will be fine with that. If you're buying your compost from your local nursery or garden centre, very often on the outside of the bag, you will see sometimes that there are composts which are specially formulated for baskets or containers, and that will be because they have a little bit of extra feed in them, which means that the basket will last for a little bit longer. When your plants are in the ground, they're doing what plants want to do and they're sending their roots downwards to get water, to get nutrients. But in a basket like this, your plants are dependent on you to look after them. Apart from the Scottish rain, which we will get, that plant is dependent on you for watering and for nutrients. So after around a month to 6 weeks, particularly if it's flowering plants that you have, they will need a wee bit of a feed now and again, just a nice liquid feed, and remember to keep them watered, but not too much water for herbs in a basket. My most spectacular planting fail was actually with carrots. So the first year that I decided to do carrots, a long time ago as a novice gardener, I planted carrots in a container because I knew that they needed certain conditions in the soil and I didn't think my soil was good enough for carrots. So I planted them in a container and I made the classic beginner mistake of not drilling holes in the bottom of the container, and I dutifully watered these carrots all summer long, and effectively the carrots were growing in a swimming pool because the water couldn't drain out of them. Lots of foliage on top, so I thought that the carrots underneath would be award winning, and when I finally pulled those carrots, they were literally micro carrots because they'd been growing all summer long inside a swimming pool. What's more stressful? A hanging basket in July, only if we get what we would consider to be a traditional summer, and then you have to look at watering a traditional hanging basket. But although advice tells you a hanging basket needs to be watered every day, it doesn't necessarily need to be watered every single day, particularly in Scotland. Look at the amount of rain that we have. So a really good tip for your hanging baskets before you just drown them every single day is to go out and check the soil. If you can reach your hanging basket, stick your finger in. It might be dry on the top layer, but if you put your finger in, or if you don't want to put your finger in, use a skewer or use a knife or something, the soil might be quite wet, a couple of inches down, which means there's plenty of moisture in the basket. If you can't reach in to check the soil level in your hanging basket, then from underneath, lift your hanging basket up. If it feels light when you lift it up, then it means it needs watering, and if it feels heavy, it means there's enough moisture still in the basket. So don't waste all of that water and all of your energy watering your hanging basket every single day if it doesn't need it, because too much watering can just wash all the nutrients out. Plant trends that I love from Chelsea, obviously I love seeing all the flowers, but I love when I see designers use common plants, the plants that everybody has in their gardens, in their Chelsea show gardens, because it makes it much more relatable for us as regular gardeners to think that we can achieve that Chelsea look. So definitely this year, all the favourites were there. Foxgloves were in every garden, alliums were there, iris were there, roses were there, all the Chelsea favourites. But I really love when I see things like foxgloves and hardy geraniums and the things we're all familiar with in the Chelsea show gardens. Gosh, one flower which needs an awful lot of deadheading is the petunia. Petunias are lovely, they look fantastic, they flower all summer long, they come in a plethora of colours, they bring so much to your hanging baskets or containers. But I have to admit, over the past few years, I haven't really planted many petunias because they do need a lot of deadheading. And if you're going away on holiday, particularly if you're going away for quite a long time, they can really be a sign to your neighbours that you're off on holiday. So if you're going to plant petunias, make sure that you're around to keep deadheading them. And obviously the more that you deadhead them, then the more they will keep giving you flowers all season long. The worst gardening myth, I think, is that everything needs watered all of the time. We've obviously talked about watering hanging baskets, but when your plants are in the ground, those plants don't need watered, and they certainly do not need watered every day. So if you're someone who's out with a hose every single night, even in dry weather, then you're wasting a lot of water and you're wasting an awful lot of energy. When plants are in the ground, apart from the first season, once they're establishing their roots and they're getting growing, plants will do what plants want to do, in that they'll send their roots downwards, they'll look for moisture, they'll look for nutrients. And if you're over-watering the plants in your garden, you're actually doing more harm than good, because you're encouraging them to be shallow-rooted and to become dependent on you. Mother Nature is not dependent on us in any way, shape or form. And although we might be trying to manipulate nature in our gardens, don't get carried away with the watering. Thank you so much for joining me today. To see what else we're growing and to get inspired for your own garden, then follow us on Facebook, Instagram or LinkedIn at Scotland Grows or Scotland Grows Magazine, or visit our website, scotlandgrowsmagazine.com. And remember to like, subscribe and explore the Ideal Home Show channel for more ways to grow your dream space, whether that's indoors or outdoors.